Hey, what's going on guys? Welcome back to another PS5 video. So today we've got a update to the PS4 DLC Patcher from Idlesauce. I covered this a couple of months ago. There's an issue on the PS5 when it comes to running your fake package PS4 games where DLC does not work. You can install the DLC packages, but the DLC will not appear in game, which is obviously a problem for games that, have a lot of content added in DLC. For example, in this video, I'm going to show Black Ops 3, which by default, without any DLC installed, only has one zombie map, which is Shadows of Evil, whereas there's 14 zombie maps in total, and the rest of them are all added through DLC packs. So this can be a problem for games that rely heavily on DLC for most of the content. So in this case, what we've got from Idlesauce is we have an update to the DLC patcher, because before it was pretty complicated to actually use. It required a script that you had to run in a disassembler, in this case IDA, which was quite hard to get a hold of and get everything needed in order to get it to work. So with this new version from Idlesauce, it actually does not require a disassembler anymore. It's its own program that will patch the executables to load the DLC from the update file itself instead of from separate DLC packages. So that's what I'm going to show you guys how to use here in this video. Now there is one caveat, which is that not all DLC is supported right now. As it says here, limitations. Right now, only games that rely on libsce app content is supported. Some newer cross-gen games use libsce NP entitlement access. And if this is the case, the patcher will give an error. Support for this library is doable. He just hasn't got around to it yet. So it will probably be added in some future version to support all DLC, but right now it's only DLC that uses this library that is compatible right now. So anyway, let's go ahead and look at how we actually get this. So first of all, we want to download the script itself. So head to the releases, download the program. You can also download the framework if you don't have the framework installed that's required for this. If you do, you can just download the PS4 eBoot DLC Patcher, the Windows x64 zip. There's also a Linux version and a few other versions, so go ahead and download the executable there. We also need to grab the self-util patched. It needs to be this particular version from Special Food X, so make sure you download this version, self-util patch.exe. And then we also want my patch builder application as well, which you can go ahead and download here. This one's not required. You could use the fake package tools or some other program for building package files. But in this case, I'm just going to use my own patch builder software here. Okay, so for Black Ops 3 here, you can see I've got the game package, which is already installed. I've got the update package, which is also already installed on the console. And I've got my DLC packs in a DLC folder. You want to copy all of your DLC packs into one folder on their own. As you can see here, we've got all of the kind of map packs as well as the zombie map packs. So what we want to do first of all is open up the patch builder application, and we're going to extract the game update. So the 1.26 update in this case, I'm going to drag that into package extraction in the tool and click the extract package button. And then we're going to select all of the files, and I'm going to select the location as my USB drive. So I'm going to take my USB drive here, copy the file path, and I'm just going to paste it in here. Now, because we're extracting a game update, we want to select all of the files, but if you were doing, say, a game that is merged with the update, so it's one package file, it's like the game update plus the game merged into one file, in that case, you would just want to extract the SCE system folder and any executable files for the game, like the eboot.bin or any other elf files or bin files that you have on the game. So any of those files you would extract, but you would ignore everything else. However, because we're doing an update file here, we're just going to select all of the files and export the files here to my USB drive. And if we refresh, you can see it's creating all of the necessary files right here. Okay, so with all the files extracted here, you can see we've got our image0 folder. So this is our extracted update. So what we want to do is find all of the executable files for the game that are not in the SCE module or SCE system folder. So ignore the ones that are in SCE module and SCE system. We're only interested in the executable files outside of that. So any kind of .bin files are usually executables, but not always, as well as things like .elf files, self files, .prx, sprx, any of those file types. You want to grab all of those, and we're going to drag them on top of the self-util patch.exe to basically unsign them or decrypt them. So with that here, you can see we've now got the eboot.elf, which is the decrypted version. So we can now get rid of the encrypted version and copy all of the decrypted executables, and we're going to copy those into the same folder as our DLC. So we want to copy all of our decrypted executables into the same folder as all of our DLC packages, and try to make sure that it's just the decrypted executables and the DLC packs that you have in this folder. So then we can just highlight all of them, all of the DLC packs, as well as our decrypted executables, and we're going to drag and drop them on top of the eBoot DLC Patcher. Let go, and we're going to run that script here, or run this application. And then you can see here, we only have one executable, in this case, eboot.bin, and the number of DLC packs. In this case, we have 6 DLC packs. So we're just going to press enter to patch the executable with the DLC. And there it goes right there. So once that's done, we'll get a output folder here that contains the DLC PRX, which I think loads the DLC. And then the eBoot has been patched here to load this PRX file. So what we want to do is copy those and paste those into our image0 folder for our extracted update, and replace the original with our patched versions. And then we want to, of course, rename our executable files back to the original file type. So in this case, it was originally eboot.bin, and then we decrypted it, which created the eboot.elf. So we want to rename this back to eboot.bin again. And the same with any other executable files that you had. You want to rename them back to their original file types, and then that should be good. Okay, so lastly, any DLC that contained extra data, that extra data needs to be extracted into our extracted update. So to do this, we actually have the option inside the eBoot DLC Patcher here. You can see it says extract with extra data DLCs into folders. So if we press enter on that, we just need to give it the path of our image0 folder here with our extracted update. If we paste in that file path and press enter, it's now going to extract them. So you can see it's now extracting. Map pack 1 doesn't actually contain any extra data, so it's pretty much ignored. And then we've got, map pack 3 it's now doing. So if we take a look here, you can see we've got these DLC folders now being created. DLC 0, it's doing DLC 1, which does contain extra data here. And it's going to do that with all of these DLC packs, all 6 DLC packs. It will create a DLC folder for each one and extract the content of that DLC into those DLC folders. So you're just going to wait for it to finish extracting all of that content. Okay, so all of the map packs here have now been extracted into the update folder. So finished extracting DLCs, press any key to exit, and you can see they've all been added right here. So DLC 0 to DLC 5, so all of the DLC packs, all of the content has been extracted here into these DLC folders. So all we need to do now is rebuild this into an update package that we can then install onto the game, and we should have all of the DLC packs available. So all we need to do is go back onto Patch Builder here. Now I suspect that perhaps in the future, Idlesauce will actually add this functionality into the script itself, into his own patcher, where it will be able to extract the actual update package and rebuild it instead of using an external tool like the Patch Builder. But for now anyway, we can just use Patch Builder to do this. So what we're going to do is, first of all, take our image0 folder and drag it into the project location. Or of course, you can click the 3 dots here to browse for it manually. And then we also want to take the original game package file, which is the original app package for the game, and drag that into the path to original game package. And then we should be good to build our update. So all we need to do is click build package. And I think I have enough storage on the USB for the temporary files, so I'll leave that ticked, and we will build the package file here. So that's it. We just run this. It generates the GP4 file, and then it starts creating the package file. If we go in here, you can see the package file is now being created right here. So we're just going to wait for this to complete. Okay, there we go. 100% complete. We've got our update file. You can see much, much larger than the original update. In fact, that's bigger than the actual game package itself. Hopefully it should still install okay though. So we'll go ahead and cut it out of here and paste it in the root of the USB drive so that we can install this update directly on our PS5. So let's go ahead and unplug the USB, plug it into our PS5 and get this installed. So of course you need to go on the exploit host first of all, run the jailbreak, load either ETA hen or the kstuff payload, which will allow you to run your PS4 fake packages and give you access to the debug settings that you can use to install the package. Using the package installer here from the USB drive, we will install our game update 1.26. that contains all of the DLC packs. We'll press X to install, and now we're just going to wait for that to complete. So since that's an update, it will get added to the queue. So it will appear down here, and we're just going to wait for that to finish installing. Okay, just about installed. Installing, updated. Okay, we've got the game update installed. Let's take a look at this. We're on 1.26, 105 gigs. And you can see if I go to manage game content, there's nothing. So there is no DLC packs currently installed, just the update. But the update should be patched to load the DLC. So let's see here. Okay, here we go. Press start. Let's do zombies. Got the freaking controller mic on for some reason. There we go. Turn that off. Okay, so we can see already there's a DLC pack there, the Giant. Change map, and here we go. Shadows of Evil, the Giant, Drak, Zetsubo no Shima, Gorod Krovi, Revelations, Nakder and Toten, Virachi no Numa, Kino der Toten, Ascension, Shangri-La, Moon, and Origins, all installed. All 14 maps now available on my PS5. So, yeah, this is a much easier way now of installing these DLCs. Obviously, there's going to be edge cases where it's not going to work. There's certain games, of course, that use the other library for loading DLCs that is not supported right now in the DLC Patcher. There's also other games where they might already have like DLC 00 folder, DLC 01, so you have to kind of, you know, reconfigure it. But for most games, this should definitely be a lot easier to get things working. You don't need to use IDA anymore and that script and have Python installed and all this extra crap. You don't need any of that now. Obviously, let's make sure one of these actually runs. So, you know, which map shall we do? How about the classic, the original Nakder and Toten? Let's try and load that and see if this actually works. Since they're all showing up and all the data's been extracted, we should be good here. Shouldn't have any problems loading this, but let's just be sure. Because just because the DLC shows up doesn't necessarily mean it's going to load successfully. So we are up and running. The game is loading. We have our DLC maps. So there we go, guys. That is how you fix DLC on the PS5 for PS4 games. Get DLC for your fake package games working once again on the PS5 with a much easier solution. Anyway, that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it or found the information useful. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll hopefully see you guys in the next video.